If you've ever wanted to set up a shrimp breeding tank but didn't know where to start, this one's for you. We're building our first of 3 dedicated breeding tanks from scratch, step by step, and we're even planting it with some of the oldest plants on Earth. Go grab a cup of coffee and come spend some time with us. So for filtration on these breeding tanks, we went with the Higger USB electric sponge filter, the HG176. We've never really used this before. This is not sponsored or anything, we just want to try them out. So what we get with this filter, we have the sponge. As you can see, the filter has a media compartment at the bottom, and inside of it there's actually an extra sponge that was compressed. We need to take that out and set it aside so it can decompress and get back to its normal shape before we can use it. We have a bag of ceramic media, which they provide. It's nice that they included that straight away. We went ahead and rinsed the filter media. We do this because we want to get rid of any dust or manufacturing residue that new media has. Now we'll fill up the media compartment with these ceramic balls and then put the sponge back on. Nice and simple. This filter comes with 2 mounting options. There's a hang-on clip that hooks over the rim of the tank, and there's also suction cups for mounting inside. Our first instinct was to try the hang-on option because it's cleaner and keeps everything outside of the tank, but yeah, that's not gonna work. You can see the problem straight away. Our tank is only 30 centimeters tall, and the filter hang-on support is simply too long to hang properly. It either sits too deep or doesn't have enough clearance. That won't be a problem because the suction cup option works just fine. We attach it to the inside of the tank, press it against the glass, and it holds nice and secure. And honestly, for a breeding tank this size, having the filter tucked inside is perfectly fine. It's not going to get in the way. Now we'll add a thin layer of aquasoil to the bottom of the tank. For this we'll be using Tropica aquasoil, just a really thin layer because we don't need much in a breeding setup like this. We started adding the soil with the substrate scoop, but it was taking forever, so now we just grab the bag and we're pouring it straight in. It's much quicker this way. And to spread the aquasoil evenly, you don't need any special tools. You can just use your hand to level it out across the bottom. Now for the hardscape. In a shrimp breeding tank, this is about as simple as it gets. We're just adding one single elderly stone, that's it. No elaborate aquascape here. The shrimp don't care about the scenery, they just need hiding spots and surface area to graze on. We've also added a water heater and a thermometer. Temperature stability is really important for shrimp, so we always want to keep an eye on that. And now it's time to fill this tank up. Alright, let's plug in the filter and see how everything looks. We also added a spray bar to help distribute the flow more evenly across the tank. Let's turn up the spray bar just a little bit. There we go. You can see the surface is moving nicely. That's exactly what we wanted. Now, because this is a brand new filter with new media, we will add Seachem Stability, which helps establish beneficial bacteria, and Seachem Prime as a dechlorinator because our tap water contains chlorine and chloramines, which are toxic to shrimp. So we weren't totally happy with how the spray bar was moving the water, so let's try the other attachment outlet that comes with the filter. This one should disperse the water differently, and the idea is that it'll create a bit more surface agitation and help with the oxygenation. Let's see how it does. We also decided to swap out the heater. The one we have in here right now is the preset heater from Siche, a great little heater. We've used it before and we really like it. So we found this one at the fish shop, the aquasoil Ultra heater. A few things caught our eye about this one. First, unlike the Siche, this isn't a preset heater, which means you can actually adjust the temperature yourself pretty easily. You just press on the middle button and select the temperature you want. So this gives you a lot more control. And second, just look how slim this thing is. It's super thin, barely takes up any space in the tank. Just trying to set the temperature to 24 degrees Celsius. It looks like we went over 24 degrees, so we need to keep pushing the middle button to get back and be able to set it to 24. Now we will place it at the back of the aquarium using the suction cups. We also picked up these ceramic tubes designed specifically for shrimp. Shrimp love having places to hide, especially when they're buried or just molted and they're feeling a little bit vulnerable. These give them little safe spots to retreat to and explore. But they also look great in the tank too, so we'll place them somewhere in the foreground. Now for the plants, we wanted to try something a little bit different this time. So we went with Monoselenium tenerum, also known as Pellia, and Ricardia camedrifolia, commonly known as mini Pellia or coral moss. So in a breeding tank, plant choice actually matters more than people think. You want smaller or slow-growing plants because you need to be able to see your shrimp at all times. Checking if females are buried, spotting any problems early, or just being able to catch them if you need to move them. Let's take a closer look at the mini pelea or coral moss. This one is actually a liverwort and it's pretty small and delicate. We'll come back to the mini pelea or coral moss. Let's just see for a second if the pelea will float. We were trying to figure out if we could just leave it floating or if we would need some sort of mesh or an option to have it weighed down a little bit. So we eventually decided to attach it to a stainless steel mesh rather than just leaving it floating. To secure it, we're using ADA moss cotton thread. This is a special biodegradable thread, which is made specifically for tying plants and moss to hardscape. The great thing about it is that it naturally breaks down in the water over time, and by then the plant has usually attached itself to the hardscape. Okay, so we're going to place this pelea somewhere near the hardscape, which will give the shrimp even more reason to hang around this area. And back to the coral moss. It has this really intricate branching structure that looks almost like tiny coral, and shrimp go crazy for it. It's one of their favorite plants to graze and pick through. This one is a slow grower. It prefers lower light and stays compact. The one thing that you need to keep in mind if you buy this plant is that it can be a little bit more sensitive, so stable water parameters are important. And I think I forgot to mention what a liverwort plant is. This is a very ancient and primitive type of plant, one of the earliest forms of plant life on Earth. And unlike regular aquatic plants, liverworts don't have roots, stems, or leaves. They're incredibly simple organisms that just absorb water and nutrients directly through their body. These are the stainless steel mesh pieces we used. We picked ours up at our local fish shop, but we'll leave a link in the description below in case you want to grab some too. Now here's a little hack that's going to help us a lot. Since we already have other shrimp tanks running in the house, we can speed up the cycling process on this new tank significantly. We just grabbed one of the sponges from an established filter in one of our other tanks, and we're going to squeeze it directly into this new tank. That sponge is full of beneficial bacteria, shrimp waste, and all the good stuff that's already built up over time. By squeezing it in here, we're essentially seeding the new tank instantly, giving it a massive head start. And now the moment we've been waiting for, it's time to add the shrimp. The snails are being a little bit stubborn. They're not exactly rushing out on their own, so we'll just have to give them a hand and pop them in manually. And of course they landed upside down. Every single time. We'll grab some tweezers and flip them right side up. Let's take a closer look at all of them and see what they're up to. We also decided to add one more plant, Ceratophyllum demersum. better known as hornwort. Now this one is a bit different from our other two plants. It's actually a really fast grower, which is exactly why we're adding it. In a new tank setup, fast growing plants are your best friend. They absorb ammonia, nitrites, and excess nutrients at a rapid pace, which helps stabilize the water parameters much quicker. Basically, it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting while the tank finds its balance. Once we're completely happy that the tank is fully stable and the water parameters are consistent, we'll probably take it out and go back to just the Pellia and the Ricardia. We're also going to do a small water change, nothing drastic. In a new shrimp tank especially, you have to be really careful with water changes. Shrimp are extremely sensitive to sudden shifts in water parameters, things like pH, hardness, temperature. So a large water change with water that's slightly different can cause enough of a parameter swing to stress them out. That can trigger a failed molt or, in the worst case, kill them. So it's better to keep it small and controlled. And there we have it. Shrimp breeding tank number 1 up and running. This is just the beginning though. 2 more of these are coming. If you want to follow along, hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you have any questions about the setup or anything we covered today, drop them in the comments. We read every single one. Thanks for watching, it really means a lot, and see you next time.